Bougie gang, what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday, whatever it is. Happy day to you. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to get into it. We have some important information to go over and talk about. Okay. Who said let the party begin? Bingo, 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 bingo. Yes, we gonna talk about it. Okay, and do all the things. Okay, guys, let me pull up my monitor real quick. How's everybody going? How is it going, and how is everybody doing? How's everybody going today? Is it going amazing? It's going pretty good for me. I can't complain. All right, let me pull up my monitor. Boom. Okay. If you're new here, you're going to want to do this. Hit the subscribe, set your notifications, and hit the thumbs up. If you're not new here, I know you're subscribed. You got to be, because you got the notification gang. We've only been live for 3 minutes and over 200 of you guys are here. So that's awesome. I got a promotion at work. What? Yes. Get your coins, sis. Yes. Don't play with us. Tell us all about it. You got a promotion. What does the promotion mean? Is it title and money? That's the best promotion. Title, elevation, and moolah, baby. Absolutely. Congratulations for advancing in your career. That is something that we love around here. Get your coins, sis. What? Yes. Okay, period. When are we going for drinks? Okay. Yes. Congratulations. I wish it could have been me. Standing and getting a promotion and all the new cash coming to me. A sis came to the chat today to tell us she got a promotion. She said it very humbly and gave us a chance to reveille. And now today we're gonna say congratulations on your promotion day. Congratulations to the sis and happy birthday to the Libra. We're gonna get into this document and enjoy our lunch. Welcome, everybody. Mushaga, everybody. Okay, welcome. Welcome to you. And good news. Yes, good news being spread all over the land. Sis got a raise and a promotion. Okay, period. And thank you to our beautiful, awesome sis who dropped 5 memberships on top of our awesome sis who has been supporting for 8 months. What is going on here, Bougie Gang? Y'all are showing out. Thank you, Bougie Gang. Won't y'all do it? Thank you for supporting. Thank you for gifting. And to the sis who got the promotion, thank you for sharing. Okay, thank you for sharing. Sis wanted us to know, and congratulations to our sis. Esta es bonita, Keisha Marie, retro in my furrow, SC Diva, and Mary Joanna. We get the joke, sis. You got gifted a membership. What? Only me supporting for 6 months. Okay. Thank you. Period poo. Right, Glorious? Gloria said, period poo. You guys are so funny. All right, let's get serious for a second. We've got a very important document to talk about. I had to let's see. I said, let me come now. Come now in the above entitled action. Okay. Thank you for supporting all my beautiful bougie ganganistas. Okay. Bougie nistas, bougie babes, all my girlfriends. Okay. Hey, girlfriends. All right. And guy friends. Okay. Bougie knows how to get the party started. What? Yes. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Because sis had to pay coin for this. I had to go over and get a certified copy. And that's okay because it's always that's what I pretty much always used to do anyway, get the certified, okay? The certified, okay? That's on that certification. Guys, there's a very interesting motion to suppress. If you guys have been following Sarah Boone, baby, why did her lawyer file the motion to suppress last night, like 3 days after the judge told her lawyer, like, you have until midnight tonight, right? Well, guess who filed a motion to suppress yesterday at 8:00 in the evening? Not James Owens. It appears to be Mr. Sean Hoover filed a motion to suppress. Do you guys know what a motion to suppress is? I'm sure you guys do, all of my very well-educated court watchers. A motion to suppress is just that. It is a motion asking certain evidence be withheld. A motion to suppress is a legal request made by a criminal defendant to exclude evidence from a trial. The motion is based on the idea that the evidence was obtained illegally or unconstitutionally and therefore should not be used in court. Motions to suppress are often based on constitutional grounds such as due process, self-incrimination, and unreasonable search and seizure. Let's get into it, okay? Let's talk about it. Okay. Okay, let me make this big for my bad eyes. Okay. All right. Now, this was filed last night at 8:00. Surely, sir had time to get home because he said he can barely get to the house before somebody is going live on the internet with his motions. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm telling, in cases that I cover, all of the bloggers are docket watching. Everybody's watching the docket and dockets are being discussed. I don't know any case that I'm discussing at this moment that doesn't have active bloggers pulling from the docket immediately. Okay. Okay, let's talk about it. Motion to suppress vehicle search. Now comes defendant Earnest Williams by and through the undersigned counsel and hereby files a motion to suppress vehicle search any and all evidence obtained in the search of the white Ford F-350 and all derivative evidence pursuant to the 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. Article 1, Section 1, Paragraph I. Is that an I? That's an I. Due process, Paragraph 13, Paragraph 16, and of its Constitution of the State of Georgia, OCGA 17530 and 17420, and other statutory case law in support of the motion to suppress Mr. Williams shows as follows. We're going to call this the Sonia Durham defense because we know that Sonia is the mastermind of this god awful ain't got no motion, but we're just going to entertain it. Number one, Mr. Williams, I cannot wait for Will Wooten's response. Okay. Mr. Williams is charged in this indictment with the offenses of violation of the Georgia RICO Act, false swearing, filing false documents, bigamy, theft by taking, conspiracy to commit unauthorized practice of law, filing false documents, identity fraud, and deposit account fraud. Mr. Williams has pled not guilty to said charges and is presumed, and let the church say, innocent. Okay, that's what he is presumed innocent. Okay. Number two, on or about July 7th of 2022, law enforcement officer Natalie Fields of where? The Roswell Police Department, and law enforcement officer Ivan Yavteshenko with the Roswell Police Department observed Mr. Williams driving his wife's, Shirley Strawberry's, white Ford F-350 eastbound on Pine Grove Road. Law enforcement officers observed Mr. Williams pull into and park the white F-350 at 1070 Alpharetta Highway. Mr. Williams then exited the vehicle and began to take pictures of a for lease sign. Mr. Williams was subsequently arrested in said parking lot on a warrant EW 0328723 out of Roswell for theft by deception and searched without incident. After his arrest, Mr. Williams was notified by Detective Gooden that the white Ford F-350 would be impounded, and Officer Fields had the vehicle towed to Roswell Police Department. Guys, give me just 1 second. Let me get my canines back in the house. Okay, just a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, number two. On or about July 8th, 2022, Detective Gooden contacted Roswell Police Department Officer Corey Davell to conduct an open air sniff with a drug sniffing canine named Ivar on the white Ford F-350 that was driven by Mr. Williams. In her report, Officer Fields documented that Ivar positively alerted on the white F-350 for the presence of illegal narcotics. Because of Ivar's alert, Officer Fields obtained a search warrant for the white F-350 tag RUR 4559, registered to Shirley Strawberry. Said search warrant was signed by the Honorable Judge Debbie Ann Rickman on July 8th at 2:44 p.m. During the search, simple during the search, multiple items were seized by officers to include a black book bag with multiple documents. Oh, he didn't say what the interesting. Multiple items. Okay, during the search, during the search, multiple items were seized by officers, including a black book bag with multiple documents, a silver and black GTAC computer, a gold iPhone, scan disk 32 gigabyte USB drive, and keys to vehicles. Interesting. Let me just find this real quick. Hold on. It's funny. I just had this available. Okay. This was interesting. Hold on. Let's go here for just 1 second. Entertain me, guys. Okay. Do you guys see this? Let's go here because this tells the full narrative. I began my investigation subsequent to Mr. Williams' arrest on his vehicle, which is registered to his wife, Shirley Strawberry, a 2017 F-350. While conducting the search, there were multiple items seized, including a GTAC computer, iPhone, a black bag with various documents. Other items found in the vehicle were two black dildos, a face mask with leather zips, a black mask with zips, liquid Viagra. Okay. Through further investigation of the documents, it was found that the Bentley was in repossession as Williams had stopped paying car notes and other documents, which prompted us to obtain a search warrant for 980 Pine Grove as well as 990 with his co-defendant Erica King. So they're trying to go back to, it's almost like if you chop the head off of the snake, then you have nothing. So if they can get a motion to suppress what was obtained in the vehicle, which led from one thing to another thing to another thing, then all of these subsequent cases could potentially get thrown out. But come on. Anywho, let's continue. Okay. That's what was left out. You guys knew about that, right? They say you're nasty. Okay, let's go back. Let's get back to this. Okay. The search of the white F-350 was illegal, as said search was done without issuance of a valid search warrant, without exigent circumstances, and after the vehicle was illegally impounded. In Georgia, case law related to the impoundment of legally parked vehicles stems from the Fourth Amendment jurisprudence. The white Ford F-350 was improperly impounded. The police may not use an impoundment or inventory as a medium to search for contraband. Duncombe versus State. The individual's right of privacy is superior to the power of the police to impound a vehicle unnecessarily. Impoundment of a vehicle is valid only if there is some necessity for the police to take charge of the property. In each instance, the ultimate test for the validity of the police's conduct is whether, under the circumstances then confronting the police, their conduct was reasonable within the meaning of. So you mean to tell me that Nesto has had 3 public defenders? How many private lawyers? 2 private lawyers. He had 5 lawyers altogether. Nobody has come up with the fact that there was not a proper warrant for the vehicle years ago. So it's been over 2 years. Nobody like just now all of a sudden it's like, but that wasn't legal. That's interesting. They all these attorneys let this go very far without I guess what they're saying, actual probable cause to check the vehicle, therefore taking us down the road of all of this stuff. So we'll see. Georgia courts have found impoundment of a car authorized where the sole occupant was arrested for driving with a suspended or invalid license and had no companion or other person capable of removing the car in a timely manner, where all the occupants of the car were arrested, where the arresting officer testified he would have permitted a reasonable request for alternate disposition of the car, but the defendant made no such request, where a lawful custodial arrest of a car's sole occupant rendered reasonable the search of the passenger compartment both as a contemporaneous incident of the arrest or as routine inventory of its contents, where the car did not bear a valid tag and where the car was parked at a business or the owner of the business requested it to be removed. Furthermore, so they're basically saying all of these things do not apply. Furthermore, the Court of Appeals has adopted a view that when a driver is arrested and a reliable friend is present who may be authorized and capable of removing the vehicle, or where the arrestee expresses some preference for a private towing service, the rationale for impoundment does not exist. They're throwing out all of these scenarios that basically the car was not properly handled and therefore the warrants were issued and it's problematic. The court held that there was no showing that impoundment of the appellant's car was reasonably necessary, after noting that there is no evidence of any connection between the car and the appellant's arrest, no evidence that the car was legally parked or illegally parked or was a hazard to traffic, or that the appellant was consulted regarding alternate disposition of the vehicle. There is nothing in the warrants or police reports that authorize law enforcement officer Natalie Fields to impound the white Ford F-50. First, there is no evidence of any connection between the white Ford F-50 and Mr. Williams' arrest. Law enforcement officer Fields arrested Mr. Williams pursuant to an arrest warrant out of Roswell for theft by deception. Officer Fields even memorialized in her search warrant for the vehicle SW030244 that the white Ford F350 is registered to Shirley Clark Strawberry and not Mr. Williams. But we all know that that was his primary vehicle to drive. That's what they said. Shirley wouldn't even drive that car. The F350 is registered, not Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams is not arrested due to driving violation, and there is nothing that suggests that the white 450 tags, insurance, and registration were invalid at the time of the arrest. Second, Mr. Williams was it on the repo list too? Second, Mr. Williams was never given an opportunity to call a legal, capable driver to move the vehicle in a timely manner. Didn't he say he wanted his lawyer's number, who was Erica King? Second, Mr. Williams was never given an opportunity to call a legal, capable driver to move the vehicle in a timely manner. And he was also not given an opportunity to request a private tow. Instead, he was notified by Detective Gooden that the white Ford F350 would be impounded upon his arrest. Third, there is no issue of whether the arrest of Mr. Williams rendered reasonable the search of the passenger compartment, both as a contemporaneous incident of the arrest or as a routine inventory of its contents. Mr. Williams was arrested outside of the legally parked vehicle and searched without incident. Officers made the decision to impound the vehicle, then requested a drug sniffing dog once the vehicle was impounded in the police custody the day after the arrest. Only afterwards did the officers get a search warrant to search the vehicle, approximately 24 hours after Mr. Williams was arrested. Fourth, the owner of the location where the Ford F-350 was parked did not request it to be moved. In short, there was no showing that the impoundment of the car was reasonable or necessary at all. The white Ford 350 was illegally searched. Because the impoundment of the white Ford F 350 was illegal, all subsequent actions taken by law enforcement officers the following day were unlawful. The Fourth Amendment guarantees the right of people to be secure in their persons, house, papers, effects against reasonable search and seizures. The ultimate test for the validity of the police's conduct is whether, under the circumstances then confronting the police, their conduct was reasonable within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment. Wren versus the United States. There is nothing in the warrant or police reports that justifies a search as the inventory pursuant to impoundment of the vehicle. Therefore, there is no reasonable suspicion or probable cause to believe Mr. Williams was engaged in illegal drug activities, which required the need to request a drug sniffing dog a day after his arrest. Well, maybe they found a problem with the Liquid V. Was the Liquid V a over the counter Liquid V, or was the Liquid V a compounded or a liquid form of Viagra, which does require a prescription and didn't have his name on? Like, I don't know. I don't know. On the actual police report, they mentioned the Liquid V. And they bought a drug sniffing dog because maybe the Liquid V wasn't the over the counter gas station Liquid V that y'all have hit me up to and said that there's something that's at the gas station. We don't know if that was liquid prescription medication. We don't know. That was what was in his bag. If his bag had prescriptions in it or medication they were unable to identify, something that was in a bottle, they weren't able to drug test it to be able to validate it, and they feel like this could be a narcotic or this could be something that is prescribed, but it doesn't have his name on it. We don't know. Well, of course, Liquid V. So if it is truly labeled Viagra, that is a prescription medication. If there is some off-label derivative Liquid V out there at the gas station that you can drink like an energy shot, I don't know. I do not know. But a drug sniffing dog is coming to do what? Smell drugs. What drugs were found? We didn't hear about any street drugs, but we did hear about some Liquid V. I don't know what Liquid V is. Okay. I don't know what is in Liquid V. I don't know if Liquid V is a catchphrase or a nickname for actual liquid Viagra in a liquid form. We don't know. But they called for a drug sniffing dog. Okay. For a reason. Okay. The bottle was probably sticky. Oh, okay. That they didn't note that, but that's a great reason. Yes. Okay. All right, let's keep going, but this is all interesting. He may be missing a very like the fact that he omitted the dildos, the Liquid V and all of that. I mean, come on now. Okay. Mr. Williams was engaged in Mr. There is no reasonable suspicion or probable cause to believe Mr. Williams was engaged in illegal drug activities, which required the need to request a drug sniffing dog the day of his arrest. Let's just remember that other items found in the vehicle were two black dildos. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. Other items found in the vehicle were two black dildos, a mask with zippers, and liquid Viagra. Can y'all see that? Yes. Okay, good. I'm just saying. Okay. When that liquid Viagra, if they didn't know what was in the bottle and they wanted to validate the bottle, and there's no prescription. They're not sure. FDA laboratory analysis confirmed that jacked sexual enhancement liquid contains, is it sildenafil, a active ingredient in the FDA approved prescription drug Viagra used to treat erectile dysfunction. Okay. But we don't know if that's what he had. They're just calling it Liquid V. Is V here? Hey V. I don't see you yet, V, but I see people saying hi and putting some lippies out here. Mwah. Some lippies to V. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. As stated above, Mr. Williams was arrested on a warrant EW 0328723 out of Roswell for theft by deception on or about July 7th, 2022, while driving his wife's Ford F-350 that she didn't drive. Officers observed Mr. Williams pull into the park, pull in and park the F-350 at 1070 Alpharetta Highway, then exit the vehicle, take pictures of a for lease sign. Mr. Williams was subsequently arrested and searched without incident in said parking lot. Afterwards, officers illegally impounded the white F-350 and had the vehicle towed. Why didn't anybody put this out there to get him out of jail to begin with? There was an illegal search and seizure. Why not 2.5 years ago didn't anybody go to these bail hearings and plead the man's case? I just think it's kind of funny that he was arrested damn 2.5 years ago. And now all of a sudden, now it's on some illegal search and seizure, all kinds of things. And
the lie detector determined that was a lie. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So let's keep in mind the report over here says liquid Viagra. It doesn't say jacked. Let's take two scenarios, right? Let's take two scenarios. One scenario is that it is a medicine bottle with Viagra in liquid form and it's prescribed and it did not have his name on it. Because we don't know. She said it had liquid Viagra. It didn't say whether it was an actual pharmaceutical container from like a Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. Is this some over-the-counter type of concoction that gives you a Viagra type feel? Like, we don't know what it was. But the fact that they went and got a drug sniffing dog makes me think, and this is just an assumption, because damn it, I don't want to mislead anybody. But if she's saying liquid Viagra, unless it's called liquid Viagra and it's some sort of over-the-counter version of the erectile dysfunction medication, I'm wondering if this was actual Viagra in liquid form that did not have Sir's name on it. Now, they didn't go into detail that the bottle was prescribed to this person and not that person. They didn't put any of that detail on here. But why would you bring a drug sniffing dog for clearly, like, you're not going to bring, let's just take another example. You're not going to bring a drug sniffing dog for liquid Motrin, but you would for maybe Toradol. Okay. So two pain medications, one over the counter, both liquid. One has your name, one is just a generic something you can just grab off a shelf. I don't know. Why would they bring a drug sniffing dog? Because they noted liquid Viagra. Viagra is a brand name of a medication. They did not state whether his name was on it or not. And it's not legal to be running around with other people's prescriptions. So we don't know if that was prescribed to him or not. We don't know if it was a prescription grade or not. We don't know what the bottle said or not. We don't know anything. What we know is what's on here. Okay. Let's see. Who had a question? Why? Where's the question? I lost your question. Someone said, why would they say it's something? What do you mean? Why would they say it's something it's not? What I'm saying is, and liquid Viagra. Liquid Viagra, this is my point. The liquid Viagra could be a medicine bottle of Viagra in liquid form. There could be something out here that is, because I feel like someone, and people said this a long time ago, but the liquid Viagra could have been something they sell at the gas station, like kind of like a sexual enhancement. You can buy like an energy drink or something at the, like those ginseng bottles or whatever, right? We don't know they did not go into detail. So why would they write something it wasn't? Because they were just inventorying what they got. But I'm sure that there were pictures. There's got to be pictures and evidence of what this bottle looked like. And what was on the bottle, what wasn't on the bottle. Is this some sort of, let's see if there is some sort of something called liquid V. Liquid V. Let's see if there's something called that. There is something called liquid V, but we don't know that that's what it is. Okay, but let me just look up liquid Viagra. Let's see. Oh, liquid. If you type in liquid Viagra, you will come up with jacked, but it goes straight to the FDA. And I plugged in, this is what I plugged in, liquid Viagra, and this is the first thing that popped up. So that's what one of our sis's just brought to our attention. Hold on a second. Let me see what it says. So is that stuff banned? So you see how this stuff looks like a energy drink? Let me move this. It's in those energy drink bottles. I don't know. Maybe this is a banned substance. I don't know. I don't want to get too much in the weeds on it. I'm sure when they do the motions, maybe tomorrow they'll talk about it. I don't know, but I don't want to get too much in the weeds on it. We won't know until they present the evidence. I mean, that we're just going to have to wait and see. Okay. But the liquid V is becoming a situation. Let's see. At no time did any officer memorialize they smelled any type of illegal narcotics coming from Mr. Williams or the white Ford F-350 during the arrest. At no time did any officer say they found any type of illegal narcotic on Mr. Williams' person or in the back of the police vehicle which transported him. At no time did any officer memorialize they saw him in plain view anything in the white F-350 that looked like illegal narcotics. Also, Mr. Williams' arrest was not premised on him engaging in illegal narcotic activities. On the following day after the arrest, when the white F-350 was illegally in police custody, at no time did any officer memorialize they smelled any type of illegal narcotics coming from the vehicle or that they saw in plain view anything that looked like illegal narcotics. Even with a complete lack of reasonable suspicion or probable cause to believe illegal narcotics were present in the vehicle, Detective Gooden contacted Roswell police officer Corey DeVell to conduct an open-air sniff with his drug-sniffing canine on the white Ford F-350. In her report, Officer Fields then documented that the canine positively alerted on the F-350, which was the basis for her to obtain a search warrant. During the search warrant, multiple items were seized. The officers seized by the officers to include a black book bag, multiple documents, silver and black G-Tech computer. That's the computer with the CP on it. The cell phone that Sonya's been chomping at the bit to get, a ScanDisk 32 gigabyte USB drive, and vehicle keys. They conveniently leave out the dildos, the mask, the liquid V, because the impoundment of the white F-350 was unlawful, and subsequent canine air sniff and search conducted on the vehicle was in violation of Mr. Williams' Fourth Amendment constitutional right as well. In summary, Georgia courts generally view the impoundment of a legally parked vehicle as unreasonable unless there is a specific justification for the vehicle. I find it a little disingenuous to me that, and maybe because it is salacious, maybe because it does sound weird, why does he keep leaving off the fact that there were dildos and liquid V? Liquid V is a substance. You're wondering why there was a drug sniffing dog. There was a potential scheduled drug in the vehicle, and we don't know what it looked like. Was it in a prescription bottle? Was it in an over-the-counter bottle? Did they suspect that the bottle had a different substance in it than what was said? Like, we don't know. Is liquid V a banned substance? That stuff jacked? Is jacked a banned substance now? Is it like having synthetic, whatever that synthetic stuff is that they're arresting people for? We don't know. Okay, but in summary, Georgia courts generally view the impoundment of a legally parked vehicle as unreasonable unless there is a specific justification for the vehicle to be impounded. If the vehicle is legally parked and pose no threat or danger, impoundment violates the Fourth Amendment protections against unreasonable seizures. The ultimate test for the validity of law enforcement conduct is whether, under circumstances then confronting them, their conduct was reasonable within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment. The search of the white Ford F-350 was illegal, as said search was done without the issuance of a valid search warrant, without exigent circumstances, and after the vehicle was already impounded. Wherefore, defendant respectfully prays that this honorable court set this matter down for a hearing, and upon consideration of same, exclude from evidence any and all evidence purportedly seized in conjunction with the instant illegal volitive search and seizure, including but not limited to any derivative evidence obtained as a result of the search. I'm just trying to understand why you left out dildos, liquid V, and a mask with zips. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Because they used a drug sniffing dog for a reason, and they did find a substance in the vehicle. And why would they use a drug sniffing dog? Because they found something in a bottle. We don't know what it said on it. We don't know. It was noted by the police officer as such. It was noted as liquid Viagra. Where the officer got that from, I'm sure it's a picture of it or something, right? Other items. Hold on. Where's my, okay, right here. Other items, I just find it a little like, why'd you leave that out? Like you're while conducting the search, there were multiple items seized to include the G-Tech computer, the iPhone, the black bag with various documents. Other items found in the vehicle were 2 black dildos, a black mask with zips, and liquid Viagra. Either that liquid Viagra didn't have Sir's name on it and it belonged to somebody else. I don't know. But maybe he missed that part. Maybe he missed that part because that's the part that got the drug sniffing dogs over there. I'm just saying. Okay. Let me see what you guys are thinking. Let me see if you guys have any questions. Let's talk about it. Okay, let's see. All right, I dropped the call in. Anybody who's got any questions? Did they say he was driving without? No, they didn't say that. Mm-mm. They said what the motion stated was that the defendant was not arrested not having a valid driver's license and registration. So basically all documents needed to be on the road and in a vehicle, I'm assuming were present and accounted for. So no, they did not say that. The author of this motion stated that all items needed to drive were there and available. I see Joey. It was left out because Dicks and Stiffy Juice are not illegal. Well, let's run that back though a little bit. If the liquid Viagra was prescribed, Viagra is a prescribed medication. And there are people, seniors, who get medication in liquid form. So we don't know that it was jacked juice. It could have actually been a bottle of a prescription medication. We don't know. We don't have pictures and we don't have a full itemizing of the contents of the vehicle. I don't know why they would have okay. Hey Joey. Hello.
Hello,
Hi Joey.
Fran, can you hear me?
Yes.
What can I do for you today, ma'am?
You called here. You called here. Last
Please.
time I put the bat signal out, you did not respond. So I picked up on your call. What's going on? You tell me.
I probably wasn't monitoring. So you tell me what's happening with Mr.
Well,
Williams.
it's interesting. Some
questions you
legal things are actually happening with the case right now, above and beyond petty stuff. And not to say that there weren't some legal maneuvers going on, but they did file a little bit kind of juicy, interesting, something to talk about motion to suppress today. What are your thoughts? Did you hear it?
I think they're doing yeah, I heard what you read. And I think they're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you make a point that, like I've said before, his previous lawyers have been horrible. They really haven't tried to do anything. And I think at this point in time, his current public defenders are trying to avoid a situation where he makes the claim of an inadequate defense. So
Okay.
they're throwing everything at the walls at this point in time to see what sticks. I think that there's a good thread on this. It makes a lot of sense. The problem is the public has been exposed to all the evidence that's been out, and we kind of know some of that stuff is pretty. Some of that stuff, at least one of those things, is pretty bad. So how do you put that genie back in the bottle? If you can't technically even if you threw it out, we already know about it, and it's very difficult to do. So I don't know where this is going to go, but he is doing what I consider he's doing the right thing. He's certainly trying. So we'll see I'm curious to see how the judge threads the needle on this one.
I'm wondering, so I'm reading, is Viagra available in a liquid form? So the pharmaceutical company
Of course
that
it is.
makes, Well, so what they're saying is that the pharmaceutical company that makes Viagra, let me see, oral suspension. Okay. So they do make it. They can also, at the compounding pharmacy, they will make it into a liquid for you if they don't have it, but there is a oral version. We don't know what they found. She on the police report it says liquid Viagra, but it doesn't say over the counter. It just says liquid Viagra. And to me, I'm wondering if that was a prescription version. I mean, why would they call a drug sniffing dog if there wasn't any sort of suspicion of some sort of narcotic? I don't
There's
know.
that's that. Well, they do a lot of this out of procedure, and you're right. There was really no reason to do that, but maybe in Roswell they have a procedure that when they impound a car, they bring in the dog just as a cursory look, and that gives them the excuse to go into the car. So um, again, we'll see how the judge threads this. I am curious to see how this is a pretty good request. So I'm going to see how they thread it, what
Yeah,
they
I
do
mean,
with it,
this to me
because
is something that
they had him.
mhm,
The warrant was for him, so they had him.
right. It was
He's not being
a
picked up
body
on a
warrant.
felony, right? The bounty warrant. He's not picked up on a felony warrant. He's not a drug dealer. He's not a. It wasn't a guy that you would need to search his vehicle because he would have something in it. It was a body warrant. So yeah, this may have some legs, but again, the information is already there. We already know the information, so I don't know how. I don't know, but I believe that he is really trying to get that CP stuff thrown out. That's the most important. That's the most important stuff he wants
But
thrown
that's
out. That
and I get it. But that's not really his case though. That's Joy's case because that's not even on this case. Um, but what was obtained in that search warrant leads us to all of everything else. Like it
correct.
opened up the door for this whole entire 2.5 years of mess that he's in. I'm wondering why nobody threw out this argument to begin with, because normally in a like not maybe not a first appearance, but why wasn't this probable cause heard a multitude of times before? Why
That's a good.
wasn't this why I mean, I'm just curious why nobody has, and we've heard him mention it, we've heard Sonya mention it, but they're stupid and they don't make any sense. They can't formulate sentences. I'm wondering why all of a sudden on the eve of trial, now you've had the case for damn near 6 months. Now all of a sudden it's on some motion to suppress the search. I'm kind of I'm mystified.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe because he spent so long being unindicted that you couldn't bring this kind of stuff up. It's
Yeah, but
yeah,
he's been
it's
indicted for 6 months now.
again, I will be the first to tell you that I think he's had terrible counsel. His paid for lawyers were horrible. I don't know what they, other than draw a check, I don't know what they actually did. Um, so yeah, so I think this is I'm curious to see how this is going to
I
play
mean, I
out.
think it's a decent argument, and it's something that you hear and you see a lot when you're court watching. They will throw motions to suppress and question how something was obtained, all of those things. I feel like I mean, it's possible, but if if the linchpin is that this was some prescription grade, or we were not sure, it was off label, it was identified as liquid Viagra, and it's a scheduled drug, and that was our protocol, then it's done.
But he's not being charged for drug possession.
Well, he had the
That's nowhere there.
contents. They got him and they searched his bag.
No, the drug dogs are not looking for Viagra. They were
No,
searching
I'm
his.
just saying, as far as them obtaining his black bag, the black
I
bag would be a reason why they brought the dogs.
No, I think they. I think the dogs that they were searching the vehicle in general. They went through everything anyway, to include the bags, because you would search the
Right.
bag looking for
Okay, so
weapons.
I get what you're saying. There was nothing that presented to make you think that he was a
Correct.
narcotics dealer, all of those things. I understand. What I'm saying is when they arrested him and they took his black bag that had the zips and the papers and everything in it, that they found the liquid Viagra at that time. They left the car where it was and they bought back the drug sniffing dog. They didn't find the liquid Viagra with the dogs. The liquid Viagra was in the bag when they took him from his person because he wanted to get his phone and he wanted Erica King's phone number. He wanted Shirley's phone number. In the bag was the liquid V, the phone, and all of his papers with the Rolls Royce in repo and all of that.
Well, since you're finding this kind of party paraphernalia, I'll use that euphemism. Uh, it is not unreasonable that there may be other items there. It could have been some other party type favors. So you bring the dog
Okay.
in for that. So
Okay. So maybe they found something. It was a goodie powder, but they thought it could have been
correct.
some other kind of powder or
Could be other
something.
other
Okay.
things there. In other words, you find 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Let's bring the
Okay.
dogs in. There may be something else here.
Okay.
Uh, so
That's my point, though. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it was an unlawful search and seizure. I just think it's also telling that Mr. Hoover, didn't decide to put those details in his motion. I
I think
don't think
because
it's
it's irrelevant.
gratuitous at all. Well,
It's
I
not
think it's
relevant.
it's relevant because you have a drug sniffing dog and you mention a scheduled drug. It's a scheduled drug. Even though it's for erectile dysfunction, it is a narcotic.
I
You have
would
to show an ID to get it from the pharmacist. So we don't
true,
know
but
if it was prescribed or it was over the counter. If it's prescribed, did it have his name?
let's make the assumption at this point in time that it was prescribed because they haven't charged him with illegal drug possession.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
so it's
Okay.
it's
Good. Yeah.
it's it's
Okay.
it's prescribed,
Mm-hmm.
and to bring that up only reminds us of in this climate. To bring that up only reminds us of only refocuses our attention back on the other issues that we had going with him. So that is not illegal.
The scandalous
Right. The scandalous side, yes.
slayer, the
Correct.
manslayer around
Correct.
town. Okay.
So that's not illegal to have that. And so we're not discussing that. We're
Okay. Okay.
discussing the
Okay. Okay.
computers
Okay.
and those things. Yeah.
That's good. I'm okay. I hear you. I think that's an interesting point. Okay. What else? Okay. I hear you. I'm eager to hear this. I'm excited to
Is he in
actually
court
hear
tomorrow?
something. Yes. At 9:30. Can we count on you for a recap or are you going to go missing again? I mean, are you Bougie Gang or
of
not, sir?
Fran, you know better than that.
Okay. 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 Okay.
You
Can
got
we
me.
count on you tomorrow to give us,
I
hey,
will
Mr.
I will
Dennis?
do I will do my best.
Okay.
I'll do my best to
Were you there when Sonya was there a couple weeks ago?
I did not send a proxy, so no, I
You
was
did
not there.
not. Okay. You did
But there
not
was
send a
no
reasonable facsimile of
I did
yourself
not
to the,
send a reasonable facsimile
and they
thereof.
dragged me. Did you not hear them drag the YouTube streets?
But they're going to do that.
Why
They have nothing.
me? I'm a nice guy.
They have nothing else. And it's because you are
Okay.
nice. It's because you are nice.
Well, don't get it twisted though.
You know,
I'm sort of I'm nice adjacent.
you're nice. I think you are nice.
Mm,
And you're still
mm.
and you haven't been dethroned. So they got to Nyla. So, keep doing what you're
They
doing. You'll be
Oh,
fine.
in terms of trying to mess with her channel. Well, do you think
Correct.
that that's a tactic by Fulton County? Do you believe what the Bible lady is saying? I don't think that that was the reason what happened to Nyla happened. That's a whole different set
I
of
don't think
circumstances.
Fulton County
Um,
didn't do that. I don't
yeah,
think
no.
Fulton County did
Mm-mm.
that. But I think just keep doing what you're doing and you will be fine. Um, they're going to say what they're going to say because they don't have any. They have really nothing else. So,
Mhm.
um, and I wouldn't lose any sleep over that. To be honest with you. Uh,
Glorious has a question. Glorious, what's your question? I'll put it in. Do you want to answer some questions, or did you want to just Did you have what? So okay, I dropped the phone line if someone else wants to come ask a question. But let me ask you, what did you think about the whole situation with the divorce hearing? Do you feel like it's weird that the um, social media at large, who cover this case decided to be in attendance? I didn't find it odd at all, and it was not disruptive. I'm not sure what the beef was. Do you have any
I
commentary on that?
I think that social media. This is my opinion. Unfortunately, you had two bites at the apple, and
Mhm.
nobody and the divorce didn't go through the first two times. And I think word got back to her that people that this was on the internet, and she got with her lawyers and asked to have it restricted so you couldn't broadcast it because she is a public
Sonia
figure.
Sonia, well, and I get that from Miss Strawberry's point
Hmm.
of view, but Sonia, I think, had some doing in there, um, either trying to get to the lawyer's ear or make it seem like we're disruptive or phony or some weirdo shit. But I mean, it didn't stop anything the other day. We were all in attendance again. So it actually didn't stop anything. He just asked us to not film. If you're
Right.
filming, you can watch, you can witness, but he asked to not record the session. And then that was that
Right.
on that.
For the divorce.
Um,
Right. But
let
that's
me
the biggie. That's the thing you want to do is be able to record.
Yeah,
So that's quite a
it was
that's quite a
okay. I mean, we
restriction.
still got to it was, but I think you have to rely on your news, your ability to retell a story.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
true.
that, I think that at the end of the day, we were still witnesses. It happened. It's on the docket. It happened. And that's the most important thing. The divorce is final. And whether we have like visuals to show, it's so, what I mean? At
Right.
a certain point, we got to deal with what we got to deal with. Glorious wants to ask you a quick question. Hold on just one second. Hey,
Sure, Glorious.
Glorious.
Hey, Joey. So I just have a quick statement and a quick question.
Yes.
First of all, I agree with your assessment. I agree that they may very well have a leg to stand on here. Um, but I have a one question. What do you think? I was thinking that this may be been a strategic late filing of this. So that's what I was thinking in part. And also, there was something brought up in the chat, and I kind of agree. Do we know if Shirley approved the search and subsequent seizure? Because it is her vehicle. It's not a registered vehicle in Ernest's name. So that could be a possibility. So they would have grounds, and maybe he doesn't know that, or, maybe hasn't been communicated. If that's indeed the case, that Shirley is the one that
Mhm.
um, authorized this. But I do believe that this filing was strategic. The timing was strategic, and I do believe that it's they had if it they may have grounds.
I, you know, I would think if they contacted the vehicle owner and obtained permission, what
Hmm.
would be the point in getting a search warrant? So I don't know if that's next necessarily the case, but it's a possibility Shirley gave them permission, but I would think because he stated on three different places, like there was nothing that memorialized, nothing was documented basically, um, regarding X, Y, and Z. So I'm thinking that at no time did any officer memorialize, like he talked about the smell, he talked about the visual, he talked about permission. Um, at no time did any officer memorialize. Okay, he says he repeats in this several times, but there's a couple of things about documentation that he didn't mention whether they obtained permission from the vehicle owner.
Okay.
What do you
Mm.
think about
I
that, Joey?
I agree with you. I think that is very, very, that's very, it's very sharp of you. Yeah. They would have
Mhm.
memorialized that. They would have said,
Right, right. I agree.
requested, yeah, requested permission from the owner to do that. So that is, I agree with that.
Like,
I think
hey,
this is
Miss
something,
Strawberry, we have Ernest here. We pulled him over. He's got a body warrant. We've got your
right.
vehicle. There's some things we would like to search the vehicle. Are you okay with that?
Correct. And it's my belief that when he was arrested, he didn't want to call Shirley. He called everybody but Shirley. He didn't want to call her at all. He was trying to basically handle this without her even knowing about it. So, and it was only until he was put in jail and only until he was locked up and he wasn't going to be out for a while did he finally get a hold of Shirley. He says he didn't have his phone numbers and stuff, but I'm sure the police would have allowed him to call her when they arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
uh, make one phone call. Again, they call my wife. Uh, so I find that a little disingenuous of him saying that.
Okay, well, what do you
Hmm.
think about it being strategic, the timing being slightly strategic?
I think the timing is. I don't think it's strategic as much as it is. It's just happening now. This should have happened months ago, at least from what you know. But
Yeah, but why
again, I
couldn't it happen months ago, though?
again his lawyers and his previous lawyers have been horrible.
No, what I
They've
mean
been
since
horrible.
since his current lawyer has been on.
Well, because now you're in the process of now you're in the because his current lawyer is just now getting up to speed on his case.
Mm,
I mean, Sean Hoover just took over, and you have there's a lot of stuff going on with this
yeah.
case, and you gotta get really comfortable and familiar with it inside and out. Uh, because for every door you open, another one closes, and every door you close, another one. I mean, you have to. It's like playing chess. You have to you make your moves based on how this is going to play out. So I think Hoover is just now understanding or getting a good grasp of the case, and he's listening to his client, and he is putting forth those objections that his client is kind of telling him and what he finds reasonable. And I think that's what you're seeing now. And I think this is a good one. And I am waiting to hear how the judge handles this. I'm very curious.
So let me ask this real quick. So, if he wants to try to throw out the computer, the the documents that were obtained in the vehicle, I guess where that would help him, it's not even just the GTAC computer. Keep in mind those documents. He found notary seal receipts. He found various different documents that led them to Erica King and those false document shenanigans, right? So he had everything. He had a lot of stuff with him. But to
He
your
had
point,
some stuff.
Glorious, well, I mean, he had enough. He had enough for them to get a search warrant for 980. Okay, so in the vehicle, there was enough stuff to get search warrants for 980 and 990 Pine Grove Road
where they
on his
found a
person. Go ahead.
where they found a boatload of stuff. So even if they
Right.
throw out, even if they throw, even if they throw out the stuff from his car, I don't know if they can throw out the stuff they found at the house.
That's the point I'm trying to make, is that I don't know that that takes away everything. Not to mention when the RICO came to be, when the RICO was birthed in April or May, why not a probable cause hearing then? Like there was nothing. There was no they haven't talked about this. So I mean, I'm eager to hear them talk about it and see what he's trying to get at. Um or what result they're trying to get, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Plus also on top of that, the child pornography case is a separate case. So even if they throw out the GTAC computer from this case, it's not really we don't know if there's anything on the computer that has anything to do specifically with these charges. That has more of an effect on the subsequent charges, the child pornography case, which is separate. So again, if he's trying to throw out certain things that affect other cases, why are they not working on this case?
Uh, that's a good question, but we will see tomorrow. I again I'm biting my Yeah, I got my fingers crossed. See how the judge actually deals with this. I'm curious.
I think it's going to be denied.
Well, of course,
I think it's
I
going to be
think it is
denied.
too, but I
Yeah.
want to hear what the justification for denying it is. That's, that's my issue.
I,
How do you deny this? Under what? How?
they need to go through all of, I'm sure they're scrambling right now. I
Because you
mean,
can't say the
okay, so
gene.
the state the state is going to have to check with Roswell to get any documentation that they have to support why they did what they did. Call
Yeah,
up, call the folks and say, I need all of your notes. I need for y'all to be at the court at 9:30 tomorrow. I'm putting you on the stand. You guys can explain what happened.
yeah, the genie's out of the bottle. And I
Hmm.
mean, the law enforcement from Roswell is going to tell you exactly what you just read. I mean, they're not going to tell you anything different than what you've just been reading. Um, Again, the judge's ruling on this is going to tell you a couple of things. You know, basically why it was legal for them to do that, and uh, what evidence they get to continue to use, what evidence gets thrown out. So this can go. They is possible, but the genie is out of the bottle. The information is out there already. We know too much, and
Mm.
you just we'll figure out how they'll figure out how to. It's kind of like it's almost like doing your homework, and they have the answer now. They have to kind of create the work, kind of like a math problem. They have to create the
Hmm.
work to show the answer. Now that's how they're going to have
Right.
to
We
do it.
know we've solved for X, but how did we
Right?
get to X?
How do
I
we get
got you.
here? So that's what
Yeah.
we have to see.
Glorious, you got anything else for Joey? Glorious. Glorious, you got anything else for Joey, hun?
Is she gone?
Glorious, I'm gonna drop you down, hun. If you got anything else, let me know. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Dennis in the chat, but people are asking you, Dennis, to unblock some people. I'm not sure what's going on. That don't got nothing to do with me. Okay. Nesto wasn't cooperating with his lawyers, and he should have sat still, especially when he wasn't indicted. Was draining Shirley for no reason. Okay, what do you think are what about the demurs and the intrinsic evidence, some of the motions that they started kind of talking about the other day, and I guess I don't know if they got bored. I'm not sure what happened, but the court ended abruptly without finishing the motions. What do you do you think they're going to take it all through the motions and then we're going to start looking at some pretrial um coming soon?
Yeah, I think you're right about that. But like I said before, I don't suspect you'll see anything really moving on this until the new year.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think everything now is going to be kind of procedural, kind of administrative, getting things set up, and then the
Hmm.
issue is, is it going to be what kind of trial? Is it a trial with the judge, a trial with the jury? Uh, is there a deal going to be struck? So there's a lot that can happen between then and now.
I don't know if Will Wooten seems to have an appetite to want to negotiate with him, even though his trend is negotiating and not taking it all the way to a trial. Um do you think he's going to just go ahead and say, forget it, let me just get some time, like let's see if we can work something out with the people? Or
I don't know.
yeah.
I can only suspect that as Fulton County is is losing its other cases,
Mhm.
it's handling them very poorly, that they may
Oh my god, yeah.
want to get they may want that, again, Mr. Williams is in a very bad situation because he's going to end up being the he's going to be it's musical chairs, and he's not going to have a chair, and they're going to really they may take him all the way down the line to
Mhm.
show that they can do one of these and get an actual and to completion, because the other two, I don't know how they're going to go. I really don't.
So someone's
um,
bringing up that Hannah did question Officer Fields, and she did. They did do a probable cause hearing on the CP case. It was either CP or sexual assault. Maybe it was the CP when they arrested him, and I guess obtaining the GPAC computer and the forensics that had been done. Um, and nothing ever came up about improper search and seizure, but different lawyer, different case, different set of circumstances. Because keep in mind, when Officer Fields was questioned, I think that was Judge Adams, and that would have been about the sexual assault and child pornography. That would have been a
right.
whole different judge.
Yeah. In this day and age, when you have that CSAM material and things like that, even if it was if it was an improper to get to search, I think the courts are going to figure out a way to make it proper. They're not going to
Right.
let you just walk with that. It just isn't going to happen. Um,
Um, Janetta has a quick question. KK, come on up, hun. I just dropped the link. If you want to ask a question, come on.
Uh,
Janetta, you're on, hun.
Hi, I kind of missed the beginning of this because I was leaving court, and so did they have a warrant for the computer? Was the car they wouldn't necessarily needed a warrant for because they had probable cause to search it? Well, they may have had, well, they had probable cause to search it. They need to do a search incident to arrest. So is he challenging the search warrant for the computer?
They're challenging the search warrant for the interior of the car because basically they had the subject of the warrant, which was Nesto, and they are not clear as to what gave them the permission to enter the vehicle.
Hmm.
So yeah,
So
they
they
filed a motion to suppress.
so they did have a search warrant for the car.
They got a search warrant for the car the following day
Mm.
after they did a air test to sniff for drugs.
Because yeah, well, I think they were extra careful then because when they do especially if they had the dog. I think you mentioned something about a drug dog. The drug dog, if maybe the drug dog didn't detect any drugs, because if the drug dog detected drugs, that would have given them probable cause. So with vehicles, they don't necessarily have to have a warrant, but as long as they have probable cause. So maybe the drug dog didn't hit on anything to give them probable cause, so they kept the car and got a search warrant. That's what kind of makes sense to me.
I'll send you the motion so you can read it. The drug dogs said that she did they said that the dog did sense something. What, I don't
Ah,
know.
okay, got it. Well, they don't necessarily have to. They probably just got the warrant just to be extra careful, but they don't necessarily have to get one. They have the probable cause, but they're probably just being extra careful. I don't know.
mhm.
I don't. So what is he challenge? What reasons he challenging the warrant on?
Uh
Just an improper search.
Improper search.
Yeah, just an
So
improper search.
the warrant then lists the probable cause.
Does
I
the
think what he's saying
warrant
is
Do we
list
have a
probable
copy?
cause?
Yeah. Did they do
Uh
they have a copy of the warrant that they for that they use for his car?
the warrant, I can pull that. I probably have it. Um I didn't get there yet. So there were subsequent, he did give the paper trail of warrants that were pulled. So we'd have to line up the warrants in the order that they suggested to kind of see the thought process. I didn't do that.
Okay, because sometimes they can get
Yeah,
sloppy
maybe
in
we'll
those
do that a little
warrants.
bit
Because
later.
okay, because the warrants have to list the probable cause, and then the judge signs off on it. Sometimes they can get sloppy on that, but if they did the warrant the proper way and they listed the probable cause, what they expected to find, then I don't know how he's gonna. I don't think it'll be successful. Um, but yeah, when are you gonna do that? I'm looking forward to that video.
I just pulled the motion and then came live with you guys, and we're just all like just talking this out. So yeah,
Oh.
I can line up. I just need to highlight and just see what I have versus what I don't have. But I'm sure I've pulled all of these warrants, so I think I have them all. I
I
just
know I
don't
can count on
know
you.
off the top of my head to say, oh, I've got that. I can do it in 5 minutes. I need to pull them.
Oh, I just kind of came in the last minute because
Oh
I
no,
was
you're
out
fine. You're
running. But
fine.
yeah, I know I can count on you. You're gonna have it all together, and I'm just gonna watch it and I'll know because I was like, this is interesting. I was trying to grab some
It's
lunch.
yeah,
I'm like,
finally something legally is going on. Something
oh
kind of
yes.
legal kind of thought provoking is going on with this case other than just the drama.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm here for it all, but yeah, this is interesting. I don't, it won't be as bad as that gag order situation, but I don't know if he's. I mean, I don't think he's going to be successful with this one. It just depends on if the warrant is just crap. The warrant will have to be crap. I mean, I've seen a crap warrant before, and they had all this wonderful evidence, all this. They had a lot of stuff, and it ended up getting tossed. So that warrant was crap. When I
Mm,
tell you, and then it's spelled curtilage wrong. Curtilage is like the area outside the residence or the building that you want to search, like the outsides. It just covers more than the building. So it says the building, the address, and the curtilage. They
mm-hmm,
spelled it cartilage on the warrant. I saw
mm,
cartilage. I was so tickled. And either the warrant has to list the probable cause, or it has to attach like an affidavit or something. I just can't quite remember exactly. It has to list the probable cause. So yeah, I don't know. I think they did everything. Sound like they did extra to me because just the stop when they stop, they could do like a search incident to arrest where they could like search his body and things like that. And then they had the drug dog and the drug dog because you see this with traffic stops all the time. They search people's cars where they have a drug dog and they use that as probable cause and they don't get a warrant because you're mobile in your car, so the law doesn't really require them to have a warrant. So since they were detaining him anyway, they probably just like, well, we're going to be extra careful and get a warrant for this car. But I don't see where they would necessarily had to if they had the drug dog anyway and they had the probable cause. So
mm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think Sean is out of luck with this one. I
Yeah.
mean, he could
Now,
say, "Oh, go ahead, Joy."
now I'm curious as to now. Here's another line: is how they got into the computers.
They would have had to definitely have a warrant for those computers because just because they arrested him, I mean, if the drug dogs detected something in the vehicle, they wouldn't have given them probable cause to go into those computers. So
Okay,
that's
you
separate.
guys, wait. Let me because KK has a question, Sassy has a question. Give me. I don't want to let because if I let everyone else up, it's gonna be very chaotic. Jenna, do you have any other questions, or do you want me to let you down and then
Oh,
circle back to you after I let these other ladies up? Because I
oh no,
just want them.
you.
I don't want them to have to wait too long.
Oh no, go ahead. Y'all continue. I'll listen. This is fascinating. Yeah, keep going. I'll drop
Okay.
down. Y'all have a great
Okay.
day.
All right. You too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Ooh, wait 1 second, Sassy. KK.
Yes, sweetie. Can you hear me?
Hey. Hey. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Making my way back to the Bougie game.
Okay.
You know how it is. I was just thinking back over what we've gone through over the last year or so. When they issued, when they stopped him and they were initially looking for him, he had two warrants out for him at that time. And I remember saying, I thought that that was one reason for probable cause for the body warrant because he had two warrants on him. But then she had made a comment or something was being read where she had been told that he kept everything, all of his paperwork on him. And that we have had to read. That has to be in a warrant somewhere. So that could possibly given her the thought process to let me seize the car and then get the additional warrants to search the truck because I've been told that he keeps all of his paperwork on him. And then when they did search it, they found the teacher's credit card numbers written down in the bag. So tying the initial back to that could be that was their initial intent. But then after they got in there, more and more stuff started coming out. I don't know.
Well,
But I remember reading that.
You're absolutely right. But again, my question would be, so we have probable cause to search your vehicle. My first question would be, what is the probable cause?
It's in a warrant somewhere, because I remember reading something about or hearing it read that that's the reason they searched the truck, because she said, and I remember this statement that she said that she had doing her investigation and she had been told that he kept all of his paperwork on him. So not personally on him, but with him in a bag.
So maybe they did an initial, they got him, they impounded the car, got the search warrant, and then went in looking for those specific things.
Right. And what they did find, the smallest thing out of it, they did find that tied back to the warrant that was out on him was the girl's credit card numbers and the receipts to the places. I believe the receipts to the places, but I know the credit card numbers. So that right there validated the warrant going in. I found evidence that tied to my initial stop warrant. What I find after that is gravy.
I think that's a very good line of logic. But I'm with you, Fran. I think that the judges, by the time they're done with this, they're going to figure out a way to keep this evidence. I don't think any of this stuff is going to be thrown out.
Oh, I don't think so either. I agree with y'all on that. I don't think so either.
No, I mean, they can, like I hear a lot of people now discussing, or you hear it said sometimes, you can fight that on appeal.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're found guilty, then you can go ahead and run that to the appellate court, but we're letting that stay in.
Yeah. And excuse my voice. I'm having problems with my allergies again. But that was my first thought and I came in kind of late when you were reading it. But I was like, wait a minute, she had cause because her initial was going after him for these 2 warrants, even though she had in her mind that Pine Grove address situation. But the initial stops were on warrants.
I'm gonna look. I know that I got a bunch of these warrants from Roswell. But I mean, this could be like a year ago now. I've had this stuff for a long time. But yeah, now that the trial is gonna be getting started soon, so yeah, now it's time to dust all this stuff off, because we looked at it a lot back in the day, but now it's time to relook at some of these things now that stuff is coming up. Okay, so any other thoughts about what's going on? You got anything for Joey?
No, Joey, thank you for showing up for us and giving us your side. Welcome. And this has I back in the day I had memory problems from brain surgery. This has really struck my memory and got my memory working back again.
Isn't it great?
Because I can remember stuff. I'm like, God, I don't believe I can remember these things that's going on here.
And it's all real.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I love law and I love crime, law and crime type stuff myself. So.
You can thank Fran. Fran's doing some wonderful work here.
Definitely, she is.
It's just some like-minded folk all coming together,
and people that
a couple of noisy dogs.
Fran, I'll say this, and people that actually read what's on the paperwork, not skip words. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. They read what they want to read. and leave out the other good part. And they read
Reading is
just,
fundamental.
hey, honey, it is. And not in those cases. But anyway,
We love you,
thank you.
KK.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone have a good
Okay,
day.
hun. You too,
Bye
hun.
bye.
Okay, we got Sassy up next. Sassy. Hey, Sassy.
Hey,
Hey, how
how
are
are you,
you?
Fran? And
I'm doing great. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna put myself on mute while you're talking. Go ahead. Joey, can you hear Sassy?
I cannot.
Oh, you can't? That's
No,
weird.
I don't hear anything.
Sassy, did you just hear her say hello?
I did not.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I don't hear anything.
Sassy.
hey,
Hello?
I'm back. I was trying to. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay,
Yes, we're good.
okay. I was trying to close YouTube and close StreamYard. I'm sorry. Um, First of all, let me say this: I am definitely not a fan of Molesto and his little slut puppy. So let me preface that with
Mm.
this.
Uh,
But I am coming to be the Debbie Downer to a bit. And in between when I'm supposed to be coaching clients to be greater, I've been listening to all this. I'm kind of like a true crimer like you, friend. And I'm always listening to all these different court hearings and everything in the background. And the two that I've been obsessed with lately, obviously, is YSL and the other one with Miss Ashley Merchant and Bonnie Willis. And I'm not a
Okay, the
Ashley
document.
Merchant fan. Yeah,
Mhm.
the documents and all of that. So that's the Trump RICO. So you got the Trump RICO and the YSL RICO. And my cousin, who's actually an attorney down in Cobb County, I actually got her to start listening to you in the bushes, friend. She loves you. And she
Thank
does,
you. Thank you.
yes, she does jury consulting in Cobb County and DeKalb County. Um, and she and I were talking, and I was asking her a few questions. And one of the things that stick out to me, and she confirmed my thoughts, if you pay attention to what's going on with Ashley Merchant and you pay attention to what's going on in YSL, they've exposed Fulton County's plan, which is we throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, see what sticks. And most of the time, they're not dealing with attorneys that really know how to pull it apart. So they get easy wins. But these RICOs are kicking their behinds. And I say all that to say, I think Nesta was going to get some wins. Not a lot. I think he's going to spend the last of his days behind a wall, but I do think that we got to be prepared. Like, even in this motion, he may win part of this motion because we're learning that often Fulton County is not as right and tight and put together as they appear to be. And even more importantly, what's come out with Ashley Merchant and even in YSL is Fulton County and the different police departments don't always get along. Like, they will throw each other under the bus real quick if something looks shady, if something looks dirty. The police will say, well, we told them we weren't quite ready to execute a warrant, but they pushed for it. Or the DA will say, well, we just took the information that the police department gave me. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to say he's going to get a full stop win, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of this does get thrown out or limited. And I use the example real quick of YSL. You have a whole search that they did on Thugger, Jeffrey Williams. They did it in his house, confiscated major guns that have been implicated in some of those crimes, and that part has been thrown out. They can't even mention that they found these guns at his home when they're doing testimony. So it may be bits and pieces like that that Nesto wins on. Just my
Mm.
thoughts, and wanted to get feedback from you and Joey on that.
I agree with you. I think that Fulton County is. I think Fulton is extremely sloppy. I'm not a. I mean, we'll agree to disagree. I'm not a fan of Fawny as much as some people are.
But
Um,
did you see how Whitaker got in Adrian Love's behind yesterday? Oh my God. From the moment they woke up to the moment they went to sleep, she drugged her. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm off
I
track. Go
love
ahead.
it. I
I
do
missed it.
like it when I wish that you would just do what I ask you to do when I ask you to do it. I'm just
Listen, she's
like,
from South Carolina like me. So
girl, when she's like,
her,
here's the thing. I love when she says, well, here's the thing. As soon as she says that, I already know it's not
yeah,
going to be nice. It's not going to be, she going to say it real nice, but it's going to be very bitchy. It's
nice,
going to be
nasty, as my
extremely
grandma.
bitchy.
Yes, and yesterday morning, from the moment they hit the courtroom to the moment they closed, she was in Adrian's behind. And the end, when she just drug her and said, I don't know if you're incompetent or
Ooh.
disorganized. And then she threw her
Mm.
pen. And then she was like, I got to go take a break. Like, it was like, listen, I would have been calling Fonnie, like, look, sis, come get this badge and this computer because I'm done. I ain't never coming back. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm off track. Go ahead, Joey. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Again, I'm a public corruption guy. Uh, so yeah, I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing in Fulton County. That's why I think that Mr. Williams is going to probably get, his case is going to be a little, uh, because they actually have legitimate witnesses. They actually have they have their ducks in a row on this, or a little better. And I think Will Wooten
Mhm.
is the better attorney. I don't know why Will Wooten wasn't used in YSL. If you got to look at who are
Right,
they using for these cases. It's like, your A team, your B team. Seems like your A team
right.
is working. Your A team's working Mr. Williams. Uh, your B team is working the YSL case, and that YSL case is all over the place. It's all over the map, and uh, it's just a mess at this point in time. So,
Well, and
and
that's just it. They've uncovered that, when you declare for a speedy trial, the state is not necessarily ready. And that's when you can start pushing them. Them being the attorneys can start pushing the state. And I
which
wouldn't be
is
surprised. Yeah.
which is what could have happened if Mr. Williams had had reasonably good counsel. They could have pushed for speedy trial.
But he
They've had two.
did that. I know everybody trips on his
They've had two
attorneys, and I'm
years.
not. They've had 2 years, but here's just my little 22 cents about it. They've had 2 years, and everybody talks about his attorneys, and I'm not saying they were the best, but I think we have to give them a pass because he wasn't transparent with them. You know what
I
I'm
agree with
saying?
you.
He had them on
I
some
agree.
BS, and it just made it hard for them to even know what they were trying to defend against
I
because he was
agree.
just, yeah. I get
I
what you're
agree.
saying, but I think it's hard when you have a client who's not being fully transparent with, okay, if we think about it and we go back to some of the recordings, Crail was telling him before the indictment dropped on the RICO and the piece in the CP charges that stuff was coming. But Ernest is arguing with him about, but you can't quit on me because I haven't been charged with the RICO. And I don't know what you're talking about a CP. They can't have that kind of stuff on me. And he's trying to tell him it's coming. I don't, yeah, he's getting what
But
he deserves. But I just want to say that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm a
yeah,
talker.
I agree. Yeah, he was not transparent with his counsel. But again, your counsel has to come to you and say it does. We have to have a come to Jesus meeting here, and you have to tell me what's actually going on. And I think Mr. Williams he had another issue, which is he was trying to resolve his legal issues in camera. He was trying to do it without anyone else knowing about it, or as few people knowing about it as possible.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what and I think that's the reason why he wasn't transparent with his counsel. Uh, the minute that you started getting CP charges and things like that, that's when you should have said, okay, this is serious, and you need to start kind of telling or cooperating or working to get you a good defense. But um, and then working through an intermediary, which was Miss Durham. I think that was probably not a smart thing either. Um,
That was
so
problem one, two, and three.
yeah, because a lot was lost in translation. So um, now we are where we are. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm waiting for tomorrow to see what what happens with these new with these new requests. See where they go. How that happens.
Last quick question, Joey. Do you think he'll take a plea, or do you think he'll take it all the way to trial?
That's a good question. I don't know. Uh, a at this point in time, I think I don't know. A The problem with I think he would take a plea if you left the CP off. If he could
Right.
get out, if he could get out of that CP stuff, I think he would take a plea. But if you're going to run him, if you can run that CP on him, he's going to fight this all the way. And I would. I think anybody
Yeah.
that should fight it. So I think he'll fight it all down the line.
I
I do.
think he's I think he's going to take it to trial, and then here's why, and then I'll drop, I promise. I think he's going to take it to trial and only take a plea if, to your point, they can get rid of the CP, or it's less than 7 or 8 years. Anything more than 7 or 8 years is essentially a life sentence for him. And so I think he'll take it to trial, because at that point he has nothing to lose. Like if he gets 15 years on a plea deal, he may as well go for 40 years through a trial, because it's all the same for him. The only way I see him taking a plea that's more than like 10 years is if there's somebody he's trying to protect. And I mean somebody that could hurt him. Because I think he was into some dirty, dirty stuff that we really don't know about. And I think he may take a plea to try to protect something, but I think otherwise he'll take it to trial because he has nothing to lose. But that's my 22 cents for the day. Thank y'all for letting me up, and I'm going to go back to listening down below. Thanks, friend.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Those are some interesting points.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, those are some interesting points. So, okay, so we know the CP is a separate trial, but keep in mind this motion was to throw out a bunch of evidence collected. And if they're successful in that, it's quite possible they could bring that over to another trial if it ever sees the light of day. But I don't know if that's gonna, you know what I mean? We don't know if that's gonna happen or not. That's a whole nother thing. Joey, when you said if he could get the CP off the table, even though it's a separate trial, keep in mind that these DAs, the DA it's one DA, right? And
Correct.
if they bring it to Fonnie Willis's desk, two ADAs or chief DA, whatever they are, they can try to, for the good of the community, say, hey, you know what, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to get him off the street, it's a win, and we'll null process or whatever they do, what they do. So it is possible, even though the RICO is a separate case, to put another case on the shelf in theory, because they could say we'll null process as long as you stay out of trouble, or we're dropping the charges or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. They're able to do that, can't they? In their negotiations, they can say we're going to do this and we're going to do that. The judge has to approve it, all of those things, but we don't know if that's even going to happen.
No, we do not.
We don't know if that's going to happen.
We do not.
Mine,
and again,
so I was just going to say, to answer Sassy's question, do I think he's going to take a plea? First of all, I don't think he's going to be offered. I don't think Will Wooten is offering anything. What I do think is that his lawyer is going to try to put something on a piece of paper and see if he can get something for Nesto versus taking this all the way to court, because Nesto has a track record of accepting pleas.
He does.
He's pled out on everything.
And there's a good reason.
Sentences. Yeah, go ahead.
And there's a good reason to offer him a plea. There's multiple reasons. One, to avoid a lengthy, expensive trial, to spare the victims of coming in having to testify. I mean, there's reasons to offer a plea that make that's to make very good sense. So, but I believe that a plea would have a plea would have to have something in it that would either charge, because I think the CP is basically a possession charge, possession of.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow because he does not want to be labeled like he does not want that label on him at all.
Well, too bad.
And
I mean, if
if
it's his, it's his. It's like you're gonna have to eat that. You know what I mean? Like just because you're caught with something and you don't like the label with it doesn't mean that you're not
well, you
gonna get
shouldn't.
the label. You know
Well,
what
you
I'm
shouldn't.
saying?
Well, you shouldn't have it. So I mean, it's you shouldn't have had it.
If you're not guilty, yeah,
Right? You shouldn't have had it.
he shouldn't have been in possession of that
Correct. You were in
stuff,
possession
right?
of it,
Okay,
or so you shouldn't have had it. If that's the case, then you shouldn't have had it.
right.
So, um, but yeah,
It's
that's how I
the
see it. That's how I see it. I think that it's in the interest of the state to try to make a deal. Now, does Will Wooten want to go to trial? Absolutely.
I think I think he absolutely is very motivated.
So he may offer
I
him a deal that is completely um,
yeah,
that's
20
uh,
years.
yeah, 20, 25, 30. That of course anybody would say, nah, I'll take my chances because it's basically take my chances in front of a jury or a judge.
Right.
Now that's the issue. Will he get a jury or a judge? That's going to be
Don't they ask for that?
see, that's the next question. Is it going to be a jury or a judge? And I think he's going to ask for a judge. I don't think he's going to ask for a jury.
That would be crazy. Let's talk about that in a second. Let me bring up
Mm.
Valerie. Valerie? Hello? Valerie? Valerie, are you there? Okay, we're gonna let Valerie down for a minute. Valerie, I'm not sure if you could hear me, hun, but just make sure check all your stuff and I'm gonna let you back up in just a second. Regarding a judge or jury trial, is it not up to there are certain decisions that the accused make? Is that correct?
That is correct.
They ask for speedy trial. They put in their plea. Are they the ones who make the
Yes.
decision whether it's a jury or the judge?
Yes, they make that decision.
Okay. Did you guys know that? Any of you guys in the audience right now? There's a few things that you make up your mind for, and that is your plea as far as guilty versus not guilty, right? Whether you want to have a judge or a jury trial, and then you can also request a speedy trial. I think Nesto did ask for speedy trial, but considering when the judge
kept
offered him the
saying
first,
He kept
well,
saying he was doing it.
let me say this. When Judge Dunaway asked Sean when he wanted to come back to court, Sean took the latest day possible. So that might have thrown out speedy trial because he gave him a date like when Will Wooten stood up months ago, he said he was ready. Homeboy said he needed till October. So that's Sean's fault.
Well,
That
Sean
Nesto
couldn't.
hasn't been in trial any sooner. I'm just saying, I know he needs time to do his
Right.
work. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, there were other dates presented and he chose October. He said, I need more time than that. He said, how much time are you going to need? And Will Wooten said, I'm ready now.
Yeah, Will Wooten's had 2 years with this. And
Right.
Sean
Right.
at that point in time had a week.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to be hard on Sean. I'm
So
just stating it matter of fact. You know what I mean? I'm not picking.
right.
I'm just stating he chose a later date. So those decisions, which wasn't up to Nesto, did affect Nesto's speedy trial. I don't think he's waived speedy trial, but I guess maybe he might want to bring it up. I don't know. Maybe he'll bring it up and say, we want speedy trial. So,
Even a speedy trial takes about 90 days to get to.
yeah. So he probably won't be doing anything till 25 anyway. But
Right.
okay, let me see if I can get Valerie. Valerie. All right, Valerie, we're gonna drop you down. I'm gonna come back again, okay? All right. What else do we so these is some interesting stuff that's happening. I'm really here for. I don't know why you can't hear me. I don't know why I can't hear you. Valerie's commenting behind stage. Do me a favor. I'm gonna kick you from the studio. Click the link and come back. Maybe it's just the internet isn't perfect all the time. and maybe that's it. So let me
She made
drop the link again, and then you come on back, okay, hun? Let me
unmute your
do
mic.
that. And unmute your mic. Okay. And maybe I don't think it was muted, but let's just see. Okay, hun. Here you go. Click on that and try again, okay? Thank you. Thank you for dropping that, Miss HLS. I appreciate that. I'm going to tell you okay. So I'm looking for the warrant. Do you know anything about warrant numbers? Are warrant numbers sometimes specific to a person's initials?
I don't think so.
Because this search warrant that they're referencing is SW030244, which would be Shirley Williams, right? Because it's Shirley Williams' car. A lot of Nesto's warrants start with EW. EW or his. I wonder, like, is that a key? Not that
I
that
don't know.
means anything or has any
Yeah.
bearings on anything, but I'm just wondering because I've
Are those
been,
warrants out of Cobb County or Fulton County?
These are Roswell. So when he says over here, hold on a second, let me show you guys real quick. When he
And
says right here, in parking lot on warrant EW 0328723, EW Ernest Williams, right? Then they got a warrant for the car, and the warrant for the car was SW 0300244.
right.
I'm like, what? Because I'm searching in my files now for these warrant numbers. I'm just curious as to the coding of these first initials because it does seem, obvious that that would be the individuals of whom they're obtaining the search warrant for. SW would explain for SW for search warrant, but EW does not. So that kind of debunks that. It's more possible that the first couple letters stands for the initials of the individual of whom they're returning the search warrant. So explain. So if SW is search warrant, what's EW?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. It could be a filing system. It could be anything. It could be it could be anything at this point in time. I don't know.
I'm gonna find Erica King and see what her warrants were. And if her warrants start with EK, then I think I've just proven my point. Okay. Anything else that we need to talk about? I mean, I found this fascinating. When I saw this today, I was like, okay, motion to suppress, interesting. I'm here for it. And I do think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting argument. I just wonder who's got the receipts to hold up what was done. Because whoever has the receipts in this whole thing is going to be who's going to win this argument. What do you say? They're going to have to provide the accurate receipts.
Correct. They will. And again, they'll have to make their argument. And I'm waiting for the judge to come back with his ruling on this, and his justification for to or not to. So we will see. But it sounds pretty. It sounds. I mean, from where I sit, it sounds like it sounds reasonable. So
It
let's
was the
see
first glimmer of a defense to
right.
me. Like, okay. Yeah, I was like, okay.
So let me hear the other side of that. Let me hear the other side of that to see if
Oh, Will
how it
Wooten
balances
is
out.
somewhere typing right now
Well, I'm sure.
while listening to this
I'm
on
sure.
International Podcast. When was podcasting day? Was that yesterday? I think I missed it. I didn't get very many like, oh, hey, Fran, happy podcasting day. I found out yesterday it was International Podcast Day, something like that or other. And I missed it. A new holiday. International. Okay. Do we have anything else, Joey? This was an interesting conversation and I'm here for it. I guess we'll talk tomorrow. If you are in the midst tomorrow, will you let us know and tell us what your take is, please, sir?
I will certainly do that.
Okay. Okay, we will be waiting for your report and let us know what happened and what your take is on it. And okay. Joey, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate you.
You're welcome, Fran.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right, Bougie Gang. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. Bye bye. Vicky. Hey, Vicky. What's up?
Damn it, I wanted to ask Joey a question.
Oh, Joey. She has a question for
Okay.
you. Call. Hit us
I
back.
know
I didn't.
it's I was like, okay, don't let him go, don't let him go. But no,
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. My bad.
it's fine. I just think that in six attorneys, this is the first one that has come with, hey, the search warrant was illegal. And the
Allegedly. Alleged. You
allegedly,
know,
well,
that's his take. Yeah.
that's the argument, and you do deserve a very zealous defense, and he's wasted just like I would say I would estimate about $100,000 of Shirley's money just on defense attorneys to really just to get him out, not to really to defend his case, but just to get him out. But and none of these attorneys, the red hat guy, Jackie.
Patterson. Hmm.
Yeah, Bamal Chopra, who I'm pretty, that's why I wanted to ask about Bamal Chopra. I'm sure Joey has maybe seen him or his proxy has seen him. I'm sure he was capable of coming up with this kind of argument. Why isn't someone like going over the paperwork? And I just wonder like where was the ball dropped? Is it because he's
So
just a
keep in
liar?
mind, let's remember. So Nesto was arrested July of 2022. We're still coming like out of the pandemic, right? Still tightened restrictions going on. Also, the fact that when Bamal Chopra first went to Judge Manning's, it was strictly bail. It was strictly bail. And remember, he wasn't really getting bail. He got bail, then he got high bails. It took 90 days from the time that he was arrested to get to the bail bond hearing. They had the first appearance, and you had to sit for 90 days before you could even get bail. Right? So
Okay.
you're going from July all the way to, wasn't it like Halloween? When he first got seen, it was like Halloween, right? Because the next day, Shirley's car got seized. October 31st, Jonathan Salmon, we all watched it, gave the smackdown on the potential RICO. That was when we first heard about the RICO, October 31st of 2022. Jonathan Salmon sat there for damn 15 minutes and went through all of the financial crimes. That's before Kevin Majeski even came through. Jonathan Salmon was talking about all the no process, people getting arrested because of the transaction of the vehicle, all of those things. That was almost 2 years ago now. By the end
Right.
of this month, that bail hearing was 2 years ago. Nesto, I don't think, went back again until January. And in January, that's when he got the CP. So when he got the bond on all of this financial stuff, now come the pictures with no bond, $800,000. So it wasn't even that they couldn't, that probable cause needed to be heard a long time. Like when Bamal went to the bail hearing, maybe he should have been trying to get a probable cause hearing. And I don't
Right.
know that a probable cause hearing is like you need to be indicted for probable cause hearing. I don't know. I
I
don't know
thought a
what those
probable
stipulations
cause
are.
I thought it happened before like the indictment, like probable
And if
cause.
that's the case, then he did not push for one. He did not request one because there's nothing in the records previously about any type of suppression, probable cause, nothing. I think by that time, Sonia was in the picture. She was already trashing Bamal. Nesto heard from another person. They got in and out on some Crail Lewis. Nesto got Crail's information, gave it to Sonia. Sonia called Crail, and next thing you know, he's got a new lawyer. So, Nesto, I think, was finessing this thing, and we can blame Sonia, but it was also Nesto's doing because Nesto wanted to get the fuck up out of there. And he didn't even give Bamal Chopra an opportunity to really work for him. Sonia kept calling him trash, and he got Crail Lewis. And then
Right.
Craig Lewis ended up blowing up in his face.
Ended up being trash, little trash. But I just, I mean, like I said, I don't. This is alleged, like you said, for his current attorney, but it seems like his attorney's actually working for him, and I know we kind of trash public defenders sometimes because they they're friendly with the state, which a lot of attorneys are, but sometimes they work harder for you than a paid attorney. And this, I don't like Nestor. I do believe he's guilty, but he's innocent until proven guilty. And I just think that this is what should have been done a long time ago, and this is probably what he needed. I don't like that whole drug search thing. Get the drug dogs. I watch a lot of those cop videos. I know the alert thing is kind of shady, so that's weird to me. And then I'm not trying to give him a defense. I want to be clear about
Look,
that.
nobody has to make any apology. We want to see the legal system work. There's no
Right.
need for apologies. Me personally, I don't have a dog in this fight. If Nesto gets a fair trial and the fair trial yield him a result that's kind of like, oh wow, I didn't even see that coming, girl, I will sleep well one way or the other. It doesn't matter.
Regardless,
Like
yes.
no one has to worry about I don't have any, you know what I'm saying? Like we're having conversations about active trials. That's it. Nobody has to feel any type of way. At the end of the day, if Sean found a loophole for Nesto, he's doing his job. If he found a technicality to be able to capitalize for his defense, okay. Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. I don't know that it's gonna fly though, because this technicality still doesn't make him not guilty. The
Right.
technicality could make it that Roswell PD could have made
A
it now
mistake.
more difficult for justice to be served and left an open back door for somebody who has not been able to really face justice for creating mayhem and chaos. That it wouldn't be the first time something like that happened, but we don't know.
I'm just more like, but you're right, and I'm just more so speaking about his defense, and it's kind of the irony of it is when he was blasting through all of Shirley's money, and Shirley was just sitting out here ass on end at sleeping in the back room at a friend's house, and she's just dishing out money. He's going through ripping through attorneys like it's nothing, and now that he has a public defender, he's actually doing some work, and he wasn't believing in him, and that it's just funny. It's just ironic. The irony of all of this is funny because when you played that call the other day, um, when she was still talking crap about the attorneys then too, still thought some things should have been said in a certain way. This man is still sitting here working for him and trying to do what he wants to do. He's working in the midnight hours, trying to make sure that this man at least tries to get the appropriate zealous defense that he deserves as an American citizen. That's it. So
Right.
it's just interesting. That's all. I think it's just ironic that he wasted Shirley's money, and then now he's got a public defender, and now he's actually getting an inappropriate defense. But it's probably because they're not listening to him, or either they had the SmackDown talk with him and said, "Listen, I'm your last choice. I'm your last resort." And this woman over here does not run anything. We're it. We're it, and we're it, and that's all. And talking about Sonya. So it's just really interesting. But thank you for bringing this to us, because I'm just it's interesting the what they're trying to do, and I like to see the legal system work. I do.
Yeah, I just think that also Nesto is where he's at right now because this is where we're at right now. Every step of the way, why didn't someone do this and why didn't someone do that? We weren't there yet. I mean, there was a time where it was 6 months in between him going to actual court. Going to Judge Manning, it was all about bail. It was all bail. All she wanted to hear was Ayala. If you're not arguing Ayala, I don't need to hear about it. She didn't want to hear about anything else unless it was related to bail.
Right.
After that, that was it. Once the bail matters were settled, they started going to some hearings. We remember there was a probable cause hearing regarding the sexual assault situation, and then he was granted bail around that time. The CP was also a reduced bond, but I think we're hearing certain things now. It's not, to me, just because this is a better lawyer or this is a different situation. It's, this is where we're at. Like right now is actually time appropriate. I think also the Fulton County backlog made things drag. Um, the backlog of all of these cases, we had the system go down earlier this year for how long? Like 3 months.
3 months. Yeah.
There was like no damn Odyssey. Odyssey was on lock. The system was hijacked. Then the people didn't even know the man was a bigamist. So the good
Yeah.
people of the YouTube streets who have been working this case right along with the damn law enforcement, we've been being nosy and looking around, and everybody finding their own kind of like, oh, this is interesting. The YouTube streets has brought to the light a lot of what is
Other victims,
okay.
other other people may not have been
The
fine.
bigamy was brought to the light from
Bigamy. Yeah.
YouTube. Other
Yeah.
victims were brought to the light from YouTube. All of this cross talking of the case, all of these admissions, a lot has been brought, by the streets. So I just think we're at where we're at because this is the time. This is the time. Sean's not doing anything different. If you're following Sarah Boone's lawyer just filed a couple of motions to suppress too. This is what they do.
Yeah.
This is
And
what they
I
do.
and the suppression of the media one is a little like, okay, whatever. And I, whatever. Yeah, that's not gonna that's not gonna fly too far. But as far as the suppression of all, the evidence obtained, it's like I said, it's finally good to see. I think I guess in totality, I'm just glad to see that some things are actually moving along. There's actually work being done. He's finding things to poke at. Even if he's just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, it's good to finally see action happening, because it really, again, not that I believe anything about this man, what he says is true. I just think that's like, he's guilty. And it looked like he was just going to go
Mhm,
down for at least 35 years, 35 to 50 years. And
mhm.
as far as, like, I know we were asking about a plea deal, I think people are thinking about a plea. He can plea, but that doesn't mean
He's
that they're going
already
to get.
pled not guilty. He's already
Well,
pled.
well, if he can go back in and like plea and say guilty, that doesn't mean they're going to give him like a deal. Because I think I've heard people ask that before, like a couple of times, like, are they going to offer him a plea deal? And him pleading, just saying, you know what, I'm guilty, like in the young Dolph trial. The one of the guys who did it, he just went in and, when he was sitting in jail, he just said, I'm guilty. Wasn't even offered a plea deal. He wasn't offered anything. His conscience got the best of him, and he said, I'm
Mhm.
guilty. Wasn't offered anything. That's different than being offered a plea deal to work with the
Right,
state.
right. So a plea deal is when the government, the state comes to you with a specific like they have an idea in mind based on what the crimes are. If you do this, then we'll give you that. So if you decide to plead guilty or plead no contest or whatever they ask you to do, we'll give you this, that, or the third. That would be them coming with a deal. If Nesto said, I'm willing to plead guilty and I'm willing to take some time and I would like to try to negotiate, maybe I have additional information or maybe I can tell you where the bodies are buried or whatever the case might be. Don't take me seriously on saying that. I'm just saying, as far as what information you might want to know about my crimes or etc. That is another negotiated type deal. Or he could just plead guilty. Just like they said, Mr. Williams was charged in this indictment with the offenses of violation of the Georgia RICO Act, false swearing, filing false documents, bigamy, theft by taking, conspiracy to commit unauthorized practice of law, filing false documents, identity fraud, deposit account fraud. Mr. Williams has pled not guilty to said charges and is presumed innocent. On tomorrow is his final plea. That's his final opportunity to come in and say, I'm changing my mind. I would love if you guys give me a deal, whatever. I don't know that they're coming to him with a deal, but he has pled guilty already. Not guilty, excuse me. He's pled not guilty, as it states right here. Mr. Williams has pled not guilty.
And we know he's not going to plead guilty at this point. At this point, at 60 years old, let's just say he's 60. He's 60. He's 60 years old. I don't think he's going to be pleading guilty to anything at this point in time because he knows the time that he's facing.
Girl, if they said plead guilty and you can hit the streets tomorrow.
That's different.
Okay.
That's
I'm
different.
just saying you don't know what this man's nuts are probably in peril. This
Yes.
man's kidneys are in peril. This man's mind is about to go. He has been eating bologna for damn near 3 years. He's ready to go.
If they came in and said time served, Ernest Levert Williams, the Ernest Victor Dog Levert, what else? Marcus
Wait,
Favors.
Sonia will be outside in her Mini Cooper waiting for you.
What Mini Cooper?
What kind of car she has?
She got a Barbie
scooter?
car.
She has a Barbie car. Oh, okay. Oh,
She got a power
she might
wheel.
have to lift over there. Okay.
She's gonna have a little. She's gonna have him an outfit ready with some shoes on,
Mm-hmm.
and take him to the
She
hair
gonna buy him
salon.
an old school. What do they call the jitterbug phone? She gonna buy him a little flip phone.
Oh, new chapter is she. I don't know what she was talking to Joy about. I forgot what she said she was talking to Joy about.
Do you think about what do you? Okay. Okay. Did you talk about what do you think Sonia was talking to Joy about after court? Okay. Everybody drop your thoughts. Sonia says she talked some good stuff to Miss Joy. Okay. After court. What do we think? I think Sonia asked her, where do I go pick up Nesto's clothes? What did Sonia say to Joy? What was discussed after girl, I was about to say after church? What did they talk about? Did Sonia push that must get a gag order? Where can I go pick up Nesto's pants? What do you think she bent Miss Joy's ear about? Y'all drop it in the chat. What do you think, Vicky?
It was about the bloggers. It was about something. So what does that mean? Are they allowed to post? Can I report them?
That bitch.
They're here already. Can they post pictures of me? Are they allowed to post? They took pictures of me. Are they allowed to post pictures of him?
Sonia, mind your business. I'm tired of her. Why doesn't she go find something safe to do? Talking about the bloggers is not that's not a hobby to engage in.
She didn't do well at it. And she's
No,
like her
she
buddy
failed
over.
miserably.
She's like her buddy over there. They're a little too sensitive for it. And I understand the sensitivity coming up and putting yourself on a worldwide audience. It's you will face things, but don't respond to all of it. Don't get mad because nobody believes you. And people weren't really coming at her sideways. They were like, even when I talked, just like, just look out for yourself. Why are you so worried about this lady's husband and not Shirley's husband, Carol's husband? Because no, wait a minute, whose husband? What's her name? Edith's husband.
Oh, Edith's husband.
Edith's
Girl.
husband. Yeah, I think it's Edith's husband, right?
Girl, I'm so that whole marriage thing between Edith. What was the other lady's name? There's
Edith, Martha.
Edith, Martha, Carol, Shirley, and there's another one.
There's okay.
Too
They're
many.
all old names. Edith, Carol. I want to
Martha,
say why do I want to say Judith?
because that fits right on in. Lottie. Someone said Lottie, Dottie, and everybody.
Ah, I'm just like
Oh,
you. So what?
Juanita. Someone
They
said Juanita. Girl, we got Tracy Ellis Ross in the house today just laughing. She's like, girl, don't even.
Dawn,
Don't.
LaShawn,
Don't.
Inez, and Alicia.
Okay, period. Okay.
But I think she just went. She made a beeline for her. It's like, did it work? Because she didn't understand anything that was going on during the trial. Because
Me
Nessa,
personally, like, why is she making a beeline for Joy? She
because
doesn't like black women.
and that's a big black woman too, way bigger than her. Like, why you
I
going up
think
to
she's
her?
probably average size. She's probably average size because Sonia is puny. Sonia is the size of a 10-year-old.
She's like 4'10". I'm about 5'2". So
Oh my
I think
God.
Joy would be. But Joy looks like she's about 5'8". I think she might have had on like
Okay.
some nice heels. She probably would have been almost 6 feet at that time. So
Damn.
she was towering over Sonya because I grabbed a screenshot. I'm like, ooh, Sonya like a little kid
Maybe
standing
she
next
was
to her.
saying fee, fi, fo, fum. I don't know. That's a big lady. Shouts out to all my tall ladies out here. I'm a measly 5'4". Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just a little
short gang
measly. I'm just
club.
a little, yeah. I'm in the very cute and consolidated height group. Okay.
Yeah,
Shouts out to all my tallistas out here. Okay.
I think
Sonia is puny.
she ran up to her. It was like, did it work? Because she didn't take a note. She just sat there with her lips poked out. Her dress is so inappropriately,
Oh my God.
with legs
It was
crossed like
giving
a
hooker. It
and
was giving I've got a date.
I'm just telling you, ladies out there who are not used to taking, who haven't taken an etiquette class or didn't learn, when you're wearing a skirt or a dress that can reveal your bottom, you do not cross your legs. You cross your ankles. So that way it
Mhm.
doesn't leave room for exposure of your nether regions.
Mhm.
You could tell she
Your
wasn't raised.
vagine.
Yeah,
You
you
don't want to
don't.
show off your vagine. We
Right.
don't want to
It's
do any what was that called? Indecent
indecent exposure, like showing
yes,
off
we don't
your crotchety
yes.
crotch.
No vagine, please.
Yeah,
Everyone doesn't want to see that.
but I think she just ran up to her and was asked her, did it work? Because she didn't take a note. Nestor didn't take a note. Nestor just sat there. He was happy to have on good clothes at that day, have on new pants that somebody else didn't wear. He was happy to have on a two piece,
Yes.
something that didn't snap between the legs or snap,
Some
snap.
fresh draws. Fresh draws and some cologne.
Yes, so that was. Oh, and yeah, they let him wear cologne. They did let him. Oh, I
I
forgot
wonder if
about
she
that.
ran up to him and said, "Can I get a kiss with Nesto? Is it too late? Can I get a kiss in the back?"
Cause he sure didn't turn around.
They're like, "Ma'am, that's still Mrs. Strawberry's husband, so we cannot let you. You're not family." How about that one? You're not family, so
I'm his niece.
no. No,
I'm
ma'am.
Kalia.
No. Mm-mm.
I'm not Kalia.
Sonia's gonna find out soon enough because if Nesto ends up at the hospital for any reason, she'll get the "you're not family" shuffle eventually. That's when you, oh wow, we got 12 new members during this session. My God. All of the new members stand up. Put a bingo in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Make sure if you are a new member and you have not been to the members area, please make sure to go and check out the new member content. I think we did like 2-3 member only videos this week, so go check those out. Mary Joanna, thank you so much for gifting. I'm not done yet, Vicky. I just want to make sure I thank all of our wonderful friends. Miss Piggy Braxton, thank you so much for gifting 5 friends. I guess we had some other people come on aboard and do membership, so thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Sassy, Fulton may offer a plea because politically they can't afford another RICO trial unless it's a slam dunk. Judges are still encouraging pleas in Trump and YSL. What are your thoughts on that, Vicky?
I think that they feel like they have a slam dunk in this one because they have so many complaining witnesses and they have the evidence and they already have remember they already have Erica and they already have the evidence Erica has they've either seized or Erica's turned over. So they already have a good amount of evidence against him. Everything was most of it was done electronically. Remember, Brother Man was still using checks.
Also, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened before Auntie Rona came to town, the vid. But when things happened during the vid and then trying to track those people down, I just think that some of this case on the heels of Auntie Rona vacating, I think it had a it's had an effect on this case. I mean, people might not think so, but some of this case has been lingering for 2.5 years, and that was right when they called the vid quits. And I just think that some of that is some of the reason for a lot of this dragging and delay and the postponing, especially with the court system in Fulton County. Fulton County had a hell of a backlog for a long time, and he did suffer a longer period to wait for bail because of that. There was a minimum 9-month. You weren't going for a bail hearing the day after you had first appearance. You had to sit your ass for 90 days. Like, I think that kicked the can to a lot of this delay.
Yeah. I mean, as far as just the evidence goes, I feel like Will Wooten is so confident in his case that he's willing to take it. He was ready to start trial, 6 months ago. So, like you said earlier, it's Sean just getting the case and having to go over evidence and having to really sift through things. And once they got the discovery, he's going through. He's probably not even done going through it. And so they need a win. Fulton County does. They need a win. And this to them seems like they have a slam dunk. Just with so many actual victims that they can prove with they're asking for bank records. I know the stuff that they give over to the courts. They're giving they all these Zelle records and stuff like that and text messages. He backed himself into a corner and now he's got to fight his way out and they're going to take this to trial. So I mean they may encourage a plea, but I don't think so. I think they've already put it out on the news. They want a win because this YSL case is making them look bad because every day now if you want to talk about suppressing the media, go to YSL.
But YSL is a mess. I don't know why YSL is a mess. I just know that Love and Simone, Adrian Love and Simone Hilton. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Love, but she comes off as very unorganized. She talks without thinking. She starts moving her lips, and I don't know if it's a battle of who can use the most words, but that's a lady who talks and doesn't say shit. Like, I've just observed like the way she goes around and about, and then she gets so aggravated and mad when the judge corrects her. But it's like, She's only asked you this 10 times. I've seen it. I don't even watch every day, all day. But it's like whenever I dip in, it's like, damn, Adrian, you getting dragged again?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I watch I don't watch it every day because it's not really that interesting to me except the highlights, and I watch Cuff Boys, and he does a really good highlight of the day, and it just seems like she's always fighting with the judge. She's abrasive with the
It's not even
witnesses.
fighting with the judge. The judge is having to twist her arm like she's talking to a 15-year-old. Like, didn't I ask you to clean up your room? Didn't I tell you when you do this, you must do that? Didn't I ask you at 5 o'clock? Like, most of us would be fired from our jobs. If Love was in corporate America and Paige was a business that she supported, if she was working for the legal department or she was supporting operations, and you have a leader who is asking you to do something and repeatedly they have to keep asking you over and over
You'd
and
be
over and
written up
over,
by now. You'd be written up.
she would be fired. A professional on her level would be done.
Well, they would. I mean, by this
Nobody
time,
should ask you 2 and 3 times to get something done. There is some incompetence there.
it is, and people are wondering why the judge is not declaring a mistrial. And I know they one of the attorneys requested a mistrial yesterday, and she denied it. And I recognize that the judge has some bias, even though she's not supposed to. But she works with these people. Um, but she admonished her pretty roughly yesterday, and I would be embarrassed. I get embarrassed when I mess up on small stuff at work. She's not embarrassed whatsoever. She goes right back in it like she's like a bull in a china shop sometimes when I watch her, especially when she's abrasive with the witnesses and she wonders why they snap back at her. And then when the defense attorneys come and their tone is a little more gentler, they're I know that they have a little they can lead on questioning as far as the defense goes, but she's just abrasive with everything. And she hides the ball when it comes to evidence, and it does seem like they're just kind of stringing, like they're building the case as it goes. So I don't know, but yeah, if she did work in corporate, I mean, like how my corporate
Even if
America
she's not building her case as she's going, you know what it seems like to me? She had a case. Someone ran into her in the hallway and all her papers went flying in the air and they threw everything back in the 2 boxes and she's trying to figure it out. Because let's just be fair, they probably can't come to trial without a case being ready. But she's so unorganized. She doesn't have the paperwork in order. She has things that are there that aren't supposed to be there, things that are supposed to be there, not there. It's like somebody took her binder, threw it in the yard, and then she's letting Portia and Lambo go gather the papers and put her binder back together. It's just a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah, I don't understand if it seems like Wooten. Well, Wooten is the financial one, right? He's the financial
Mhm,
crimes
mhm.
RICO expert. So when
Thank you,
Joey was
Houston Foodie. Yes,
when
he's the corruption, financial crimes type. Yeah.
okay, so when Joey was saying they put the A team on, um, maybe she was an expert at, or maybe she was well groomed or well trained in handling unalivings. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why
Mhm.
they put her on there.
Yeah.
And if this was such a big case and this was so high profile, maybe Fani should have tried it herself, you know, instead of putting it in it. I just don't know. I mean, at this point,
Well,
even
I
if they
mean, you're the leader of the biggest county in your state. You should have competent attorneys that can do what you do, maybe even better. As a leader, you should have people that are as good as you, even better. You should have people to make you run to work every day because they're so damn good and they are bringing what you bring and they bring just even a little bit more.
right.
So if Fani is looking at her organization and got a bunch of duds on her team, then they need to start recruiting.
I know it's hard.
That's not a problem that has to stay. I mean,
It
love is she's a strange lady.
She is. I don't like her approach with the witnesses because even if I were innocent of anything, if like I said, I know these guys. They may be guilty of something. They may be guilty of whatever. Somebody took that boy's life. I don't know.
Right. Somebody
Maybe,
is gone. Someone
yeah.
is, yes, absolutely.
So maybe there was something to do with it, but at this point, y'all have kind of convoluted this case so much that it does need to be dismissed. To me it does because it just where's the Rico? I don't
They need
I
a master strategist. They need someone to come in, go through this shit, make it make sense, hire a storyteller, somebody who actually creates like this is the case. I don't even know if there's any such person that does that. I'm sure there is somebody that can just make it make sense and hand Adrian the do not fuck this up packet. Here's your roadmap. This is what you do here. And that's it.
Yeah. And I just like as far as that goes, Dre's rent over Crocs made a good point. She was competent until she came up against some more competent lawyers, defense attorneys, some more attorneys who were again providing a very zealous defense strategy for their clients. These boys' lives are on the line and they're fighting for their lives.
Mhm.
So sometimes with prosecutors, they are going to they're going to make sure that they're just going to paint a picture of, oh, it's just guilty because someone said this, someone said that. But now you have defense strategists, defense attorneys. They're gonna come through, and it's like, no, this is someone's life on the line. So I'm going to make sure I follow the law and I follow everything by the book, and that's not what she's done.
Mm. She's it's interesting because I do watch I watch the Paralegal Institute out of DC, that
I
guy.
watch him too. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the outtakes that he picks and I like his conversation. I like his conversation. He's interesting. I like what he has to say about what happened in court that day or the previous day or whatever.
Right.
Um, Janetta, thank you so much for gifting some friends. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for doing what you're doing and supporting in this way. It means a lot. Thank you. So what I'm going to do, guys, we read the document. I'm going to go back through it. I will highlight the warrants that were mentioned and I will go find them because I know if I don't have them, I know how to get them, and that's Fulton County, and I know how to get them and put the requests in. And once I receive them, we can talk about them. But I feel like I just need to let my fingers do the walking. Lovejoy just gifted another 5 friends. Y'all, thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna I'm gonna go ahead and drop down. Thanks, Fran, for talking to me.
Oh, of course, Vicky. You take care, hun.
Have a good one. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye, dear. Okay, guys, you guys are awesome. This was fun. I'm so glad we had something legal interesting to talk about today. Because we love I feel like this is all a journey to learn. I know that there's some weirdos out here that are very much intimidated by the fact that there are lay people who are interested in a court case and that like to discuss what's going on in the courtroom. And what about it? Okay. What about it to the scheme team? Scheme team, if you don't like lay people talking about what's going on in the courts, then tune out. Okay? Scheme team. Bye, scheme team. And hopefully whoever the person who filed this motion was able to get home in enough time to not feel like the internet is constantly click clacking on their heels and they're not even able to get home good before people are reading what they got going on the docket. Okay? Because if it's on the docket, we gonna talk about it. Okay. Will is unfazed. I'm sure Will is pulling receipts right now and making sure. Will is going to have a hellified response because court is tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if he files something tonight. If he doesn't file the state's response tonight, it will be filed personally in the morning. And I'm sure it will be interesting. I'm sure it will not miss anything. But we do need to talk about, when I come back, I do want to talk about Sarah's motion to suppress, because they're trying to throw out her interrogation. And that's interesting too. So if you guys like these motions to suppress and attorneys trying to find loopholes as to why we need to throw out this, that, or the third, you're going to like that too. Because yeah, her lawyer is not only filing stuff late, girl, he's trying to get major evidence thrown out. But considering that they interrogated her so many times, I don't think it's going to help, because they questioned her numerous times and they already have the story with or without any particular time. Will is going to have to cut his gym time, girl. He might already have it done. Let me check and see. So yes, yesterday was International Podcast Day. International September 30th is a international celebration of the power of podcasts. Okay. International Podcast Day is September 30th and is an international celebration of the power of podcasts. The celebration is a great opportunity to connect with fellow podcasters, podcast listeners, Bougie Gang. You hear that? Podcast enthusiasts, more Bougie Gang, and leaders in the podcasting industry. Help spread the word by telling your friends, sharing the celebration on your podcast and social media feeds, and using International Podcast Day hashtag. There are several ways to get involved and plenty to benefit from by taking part in International Podcast Day. See our suggestions below, but first we must all start the conversation and share the power of the podcast. Okay. Okay. In 2014, National Podcast Day was up, so it's 10 years. Okay. Wow. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. Didn't even know it existed, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that we had this opportunity to share a podcasting day. I'm worthy. Hey, boo, and haters too. You're a leader in the podcast industry. That's you. That's me. Oh, you guys are awesome, and that's it. That's all. That's all I can really say. But I'm glad that it's being acknowledged, because people were trying to not. Okay, but guys, let me do this. Let me go get Boo Boo from school, because I'm a mom, girl, and then I got to start thinking about dinner. That's the thing I dread the most every day. Okay. I got to go get Farrah. I got to go think about what I'm going to make for dinner. And then I want to talk the motion to suppress the interrogation that was filed 3 days late. Sarah's got court. Did she have court today? All right, let me check a couple. Do you guys want me to check these dockets? Let me see if Will filed a response. He probably hasn't filed it yet, but we'll see. Let me check right now. It'll take 2 seconds, and then I'm going to check and see when was court. I know I'm all over the place right now. Any of you guys who follow Love Lies and Lace Fronts, you guys have been keeping up with Queen of Kings, the young lady who is married to the big, tall, bulky, burly guy. Sir got arrested on some DV yesterday, which is not like a shining moment, but it happened. And if you're following Brett Miller, the dad from Queen of Kings, Sir got arrested. There was some sort of shenanigans and he was arrested. We talked about it this morning. And I did do a FOIA for the arrest report, booking photo, and what else did I ask for? Oh, body worn camera. Yes. So I did ask for that. Hopefully I can get it from the Honolulu Police Department. It's 8 o'clock there now if you're in Hawaii. So maybe someone's coming in on my request right now. Okay. I'm looking at Nesto's docket. Nothing from Will Wooten is there yet. No state's response. It could be tomorrow. Let me go to Orange County really quick. The funny thing, let me tell you a funny thing that happened on the Orange County docket with Sarah. So her lawyer filed like a demand for some discovery. And the state's attorney said, well, you could do what everybody else does, which is put an open records request in and obtain the information. Like, why do I have to run you these receipts? Why don't you just do like everybody else and do an open records request and get the information? He didn't say for your damn self, but he may as well have said for your damn self. I died. I was hollering. Because sometimes these documents low key get a little snarky, don't they? Anyway, okay, nothing new. The motion to suppress was posted last night, even though clearly it was asked to be posted on the 27th, no later than midnight. And 3 days later, here it is. So I'm sure the judge is going to say denied. When is the next court date? Tomorrow. Court is tomorrow. At what time? Court tomorrow. Trial management is happening tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Sarah Boone and 9:30 for Mr. Williams. So we have a busy court day tomorrow, guys. Get your sleep. I'm going to pull the warrants and see what I can come up with. I'm going to get on that now because the court closes at 5 o'clock. So if there's things I need to request, I got to get them in as soon as possible so I can have a chance of getting them before 5 o'clock, or else we won't see them till tomorrow after court. Okay. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. This was so much fun and this was such a great conversation. I appreciate you guys to pieces. Thank you to all the new members. Go check out some of the member content. And if I don't catch you guys later today, then I will catch you guys on tomorrow. Okay, guys? All right. You guys comment any questions or anything like that down below, and I'll see you guys later.